Hello! Welcome to Season 2 of Longshot. This is one of the 2 campaigns we'll be playing for this season named Terraform. I'm very, very excited that you all are here. Thank you for joining us. It genuinely means a lot to all of us. I'm Sir Feffers. I'll be your host and your DM. In this campaign, we have the party coming from a land that isn't super magical, though there is some, to this island that has been rumored to be excessively magical. You can see yourself as conquerors, or you can see yourself as pilgrims. They are amongst a fleet of 80 ships. We're gonna popcorn over to you. Why don't you give us the lowdown, George, on your person, your character mentality, and why you're coming to this island?
Today, and for this campaign, I'm going to be playing Crichton's Songwriter. He is a barbarian, human, and he's more of a sort of an outlander type of barbarian. He has a little bit of a Russian accent, and he is a very spiritual type of individual. He is going to be a totem warrior of some kind. Yeah. And the reason why he's on the boat going to this island is because on the mainland, most of the land has been essentially destroyed by civilization. He's not very fond of that. He's not very fond of this trading company that has taken over this whole mainland. And they are who are they called again?
They are the Endeavor. And
yes.
the industry, the industrialism has pretty much soured the entire land of spirits.
Correct. He had actually watched the last nature spirit die off on this mainland, and so now he has made a promise to go to this new one and establish peace and make sure that this does not happen in this new land.
All right. And who do you want to go next?
Swing it over to Pillowsuit.
Today, I am going to be playing Otto Kane, a tiefling rogue who's a bit of an outcast. He's always been living within different villages, never fit in, always had to scrap his way out of an argument, lived mostly within the woodlands, making more friends with the wild than in regular social society, but he does attempt to try to find the good in most people. Unfortunately, it's the demon inside them that he doesn't trust. So he's heading off to this new land because he's trying to figure out if there's a better place for him to be able to find a connection with other people. And so far, especially in the one shot that we did, he's started to find a little bit of camaraderie.
And sorry, you're a rogue, correct?
Yes.
Rogue tiefling. And who would you like to pass it off to?
Critfail Jake.
I will be playing Thranduin, a half-elf drow who was recently escaped from the drow and being sacrificed to Lolth and hitched a ride on this ship, the Endeavor, as a hired muscle, looking to start a new life on this new land, whatever it's called. I don't remember.
It is not yet named.
Oh, good. I didn't forget anything. Haha.
Who would you like to go next?
Bounce over to Cloudy Kate.
I am playing a Eladrin monk. She took this job. She's kind of grew up on the streets, was taken in by her mentor who kind of taught her how to fight, how to fend for herself. And now she's doing this begrudgingly. It's a job. It pays. So she's here.
And you are, if I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, you're a profound drinker.
Sure.
And what is your character's name?
So her name is Dayton Fairsun.
Which brings us to Dorky.
I will be playing Bradee, who is a half-elf bard. And she is coming to this island strongly to get away from everything in her past life. She wants nothing else to do with it. She wants no one to know her. So that's why she's on this little journey.
So, you were 8 months at sea. You are amongst a fleet of 80 ships. You have stopped a heinous murder that involved cannibalistic children, cooks that worship death, and a mortician that would kill people to collect their, tasty bits for spell components and sell them. There was also a botched coup, which was hilarious, by the nobility. And all in all, it was a good time. The captain died, and the Phalanx had to take over, who is the captain of the guard on that ship. Brady, Otto, Thranduin, and Dayton. You guys wake up. You know that you have roughly a day and a half. Only you guys know this. On the ship of like a couple hundred people. Only you guys of the commoners of the family are aware that there's a very short amount of time. And you wake up, kind of look at each other because it's been a weird couple of days. What do you do?
I'm gonna go take a walk on the deck.
Okay. The Phalanx has everything in a vice grip. Everyone is very tense. He's stomping about, giving orders.
Is his grip quite as tight around us, knowing that we solved and stopped?
He does not know what to make of you guys, because before the captain died, he went ahead and made you essentially his sheriffs. So you have a bit of authority outside of the Phalanx's chain of command on paper. Oh, and the nobleman was thrown into prison as well.
Good.
What did I name him? Dalliance? I named him Dalliance, and it was as pompous as I could make it. Otto, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just going to say that I am still sleeping.
Okay. Excellent.
After the whole debacle that we went through with the captain and the Phalanx and the elves and everything, like I was exhausted. Also, gouging an eye out of somebody, it takes a lot out of you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm passed out in my. Are they hammocks? Are they hammocks that we have in?
Yep.
All right, so I'm just swinging in the hammock right now to the motion of the ocean.
There you go. Brady and or Dayton, how have you guys kind of handled the excessiveness that was the murder mystery of the past couple of days, and what do you do now?
Well, I mean, I got some of that good stuff afterwards. I was rewarded heavily, and I have been very much enjoying it. So after that, I just been heavily drinking, you know, more than same as usual. When I wake up, like every morning, it's a routine. Got myself into a bit of routine. I kind of lean over, make my way up to the deck, dump my bucket over the edge of the boat.
Which is still probably one of the worst things for Otto every morning, having to smell that
just
and
being
tell
near
her,
that.
just tell her to get it back up to the deck and just throw it overboard. Because if I don't tell her, she won't do it.
Thranduin actually made it up to the deck, so he didn't need his bucket this time.
Thranduin looks over and sees Dayton doing her customary over the side of the boat.
Yeah, you know, you got to feed the fishes.
Oh, chum the waters.
If we don't do it, who will?
Exactly.
As is customary, you can see the other 79 ships all kind of getting together, waking up and going about their business. The warship at the front, the massive 10-floor ship, couple hundred cannons, mortar, glistens, the pride of the Endeavor at the front. You can see it raising various flags and communicating to the rest of the ship, the rest of the fleet, but nothing the usual. Dayton, you hear the music of the fiddle in the crow's nest again. Brady, what are you up to?
Right now, I'm just kind of trying to still process everything that had gone on. Being a little more soft-hearted, I still feel bad for some of those who have been affected by everything that had happened. So I'm just kind of chilling in the hammock. Once I had seen everybody else getting up, I make my way up to the deck, but I stay away from all the puking and the throw up and all that stuff.
Okay.
That's not for me, but I'm on the deck.
Nice. You have actually befriended every child on this boat because how you had helped the cook's help. The cook was this very loud and abusive halfling. I almost said hobbit.
Punching bag.
Halfling. Yeah, and was just beating him senseless. And you ended up helping him, and he ended up helping you. And that kid went on to tell all the other kids, and now you just always have a small gaggle of children kind of following you around and bringing you little trinkets that they've probably stolen.
We have an army.
As the party kind of convenes away from the puke, with Otto still in his bed.
Yep, still passed out. Still, like, as soon as that waft of puke gets out of the room, I am just.
You're like,
right
oh,
back to
thank
sleep.
God. The music suddenly comes to a grinding halt from the crow's nest, and you hear a loud, shrill voice going, "For the goods! Land! Land ho!"
Hearing that, I start to peek one eye open, try to assess what's going on, because I got the guttural tones, but like that's all. Like I'm like, what?
Very muffled through the boards of the boat and the creaking of the ropes and stuff like that.
I'm just hearing screams at this point.
Everyone that's down there with you kind of bolts and look at each other and they're like, did he say land? Did he say land ho? And there is immediately a stampede.
I'm just gonna hold up my flask and go pour one out for the end. Just jump like little bit, trinkle out into the water, and then just put my head under it and let it trinkle into my mouth.
So you do that, which means you are by the side of the boat.
Yeah.
But everyone else, Otto included, needs to make a dexterity saving throw or be slammed by this massive.
I'm also on the edge of the railing, holding on.
So Brady and Otto rolls at disadvantage because he is rolled over in bed.
5.
You are knocked from your hammock and you are on the ground and you are being rolled with the
sounds about right.
And you're kind of dodging this footfalls and you're just
I'm scrambling just to get to this corner of the ship so that I'm not like trampled on by all these people.
And Brady?
11.
Okay, you managed to not only kind of dodge out of the way of some very bustling dwarves, but scoop up 1 or 2 kids as you go.
Gotta protect the little army.
Perception checks for everyone who did not fall. So, the crowd has stampeded. These people have been stuck on this boat for 8 months. And, surprisingly, the island is slightly off to, we're going to say the aft. I don't remember which one that is. But, because of this, all these people are cramming to one side of the boat. Who rolled their perceptions well? Let's hear these perception checks.
22.
Okay.
I'm an 11 total.
Thranduin notices
on the side of the boat
the panic on Brady's face. Brady has noticed that the boat is literally tilting. And as it tilts, all the stuff that's kind of been moved around in the chaos of the past couple of days all kind of shifts to one side. And to Brady's horror, the ship begins turning in the middle of 79 other ships. Brady, what do you do?
I immediately just shout as loud as I possibly can.
Okay.
Even out the weight, we're gonna tip, we're moving, we're gonna crash. I'm just shouting everything as I'm trying to get to the side that's, you know.
Okay, Dayton and Thranduin, you see this. You see her begin just shouting at the top of her lungs in a panic.
Hey guys! Oh! And I'm just gonna try to so I'm not gonna run on their heads, but I kind of want to pop up and see if I can hop from thing to thing to kind of start moving to the other side of the boat. Not that I'm gonna do much to even out the weight, but just get the ballroom moving on that and push people as I go and be like, get over there!
And Thranduin, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to kind of herd people towards the other side, tell them to, move.
Brady, go ahead and make a performance check as you kind of try to get everyone's attention at the top of your lungs, at advantage because you're being assisted.
So I got a total of 17.
17! Nicely done. A lot of people, mostly of the dwarven guards that are with you and some of the elven sailors, hear what you're doing, and they all kind of start pulling out their beat sticks and kind of shoving people back and making an effort to regulate it out. Clayton and the Phalanx, Clayton being the Dragonborn who is the body to the right hand to the Phalanx, they kind of lock in. You see them tunnel vision onto what's happening, and if the captain was still alive, he probably would have noticed this. So they begin yelling orders and stuff, and to your vast relief, it begins evening out. And then to your horror, your boat is smacked from the other side. This happens roughly 8 times amongst the fleet of 80 ships. Otto.
Yeah.
As you kind of sit up, your horns are fine. You feel a jarring sensation slamming into the side of the boat, and you hear running water coming from below the deck that you're on.
Great. So when this was all shifting in there, like, obviously I'm in the middle of a stampede down there.
Yeah.
So, like, which way was what side of the boat was I on when it was leaning, and what side?
You're on,
was I on
port side, and aft side got smacked.
Okay.
So you don't feel any, you don't take any damage or anything like that.
Okay. So I'm hearing water from one floor below.
Mm-hmm. And yelling.
And yelling. Is the doorway to get down there through the steps still blocked off by people panicking?
No.
Or am I able to get down?
Most of them are already above deck or crowding to it.
While everybody's going up deck, anytime that you hear running water on a ship, you should probably be careful about that. So I'm heading down there to see what's going on.
You find a bunch of elves in a panic, the elven sailors who are kind of seedy, kind of grimy, and they're panicked and they're freaking out, and they're all yelling at each other because there are multiple cracks in the hull, and that they're starting to try to board up, and they're yelling at people to come help, but no one is answering because everyone's upstairs making a roar.
Do I see anybody that's in charge?
Looks
or
like
at least
no one's
trying
in
to
charge.
take control?
No one. All right. They're all just panicking and kind of doing their own thing that they see is best.
All right, I'm gonna try to take control of this situation. Okay. Yell out to them, just give them a general sense of it's like, hey, calm down. We need to work on this. Nobody's gonna get out of this alive unless we're able to fix this right now.
They'll kind of stop and look at you.
Yeah, who's got any carpenter skills?
I do. And there's one younger one in the back.
All right, and through this, can I see where the water is coming out?
Yes, you see multiple spigots coming out of the sides.
So to the ones that raise their hands, I'm just letting them know. You get as many resources as possible. Get as many tools and excess wood. If you can't find something, break down some beds, break down some chairs. Let's get this locked down.
And they kind of all look at each other, and then they're like, you, and you. And then the other one's like, all right, you, and over there. And they all kind of, and everyone starts listening to them, and they all start working, and they start doing a good job, actually, in rallying and boarding things up. Good job.
Thank you.
Brady, Dayton, and Thranduin. To your horror, the ship, as is protocol, leaves the fleet and pulls back, taking on water, and the other ship that smacked into you guys seems to be worse for wear and is in fact sinking. Other ships begin detaching from the fleet as well, other collided ships.
I scoot over to Birdie and kind of whisper, "You don't happen to know mending, do you?"
No.
So
worth a shot.
Protocol would be like, do we all just start going for lifeboats and every
Are
man?
there lifeboats?
Are there lifeboats?
There is one small skip in the back that is used for teleportation, transport, but they're not really lifeboats.
All right. So, and does it look like the other ships are coming to help us, or they're just like, see you later?
No, the Endeavor believes in leaving the weak behind, and they do not send help. And you watch as 5 of the 8 ships, including yourself, begin sinking quickly.
So we are actively sinking, and the other
you
3
are not
ships
anymore. It looks like the elves start paling water up, and Otto kind of comes upstairs looking very satisfied. Mm-hmm. He's getting pats on the back from various sailors, like he's done something very well, and he has earned a morale.
Nice. So I'm gonna pat my pocket. I still have that scroll.
Yes.
Okay, still gonna make sure that's on me. Gonna kind of secure my pocket and go. Oh wait, we gotta. and kind of be like, so the ship closest to us, that one's like going down.
That one's going down, and people are bailing out the sides and swimming towards y'all's ship.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna be like, start directing people that are on the ship. Be like, hey, wait, that rope, and come on, get that rope. Let's get it, and kind of hoisting ropes over the edge, and so that we can get people out of the water.
Okay, you lead the charge for that. Thranduin and Brady, what are you doing?
I'm gonna head up to the quarterdeck and see what they're doing to.
Okay.
Help or
The
whatever.
Phalanx is arguing with Clayton, his second in command. Clayton is desperately trying to convince the Phalanx that they need to help the other ships. And the Phalanx is very clearly not going to do it. He is insisting that protocol dictates that they must continue onward. And he looks furious.
Why would we not help them? It is at this time where we shall continue on due course. I'm already going to lose my job over this. I will not have any more infractions.
He is a very large, 4.5 foot tall dwarf, just pointing a finger up at this dragonborn in plate mail. And the dragonborn, Clayton, is like afraid of this man, dwarf.
And you said that the rest of the Endeavor's already left us behind.
Yes. You are being left behind. And Brady, as you're kind of seeing all this, you do in fact see like a dot on the horizon of an island.
Oh, so it's like not really that close. It's like still miles and miles away.
You'll get there by tomorrow.
You see over the curvature.
Well, the fleet will.
Right.
But we're not sinking anymore.
Not anymore, thanks to Otto.
I'm going to go and start helping Dayton, assisting however I can, and just kind of keeping an eye on the people to make sure there's no reckless things to be done that they might do in panic.
The Phalanx kind of shoulders past Thranduin, and by shoulder I mean he kind of shoulders your elbow, and he kind of says,
Lay off helping those. This is not what we are to do.
Clayton steps up and starts to say something, and the Phalanx turns and goes,
If I hear one more peep out of you, Dragonborn, I'll clap you in the brig.
The Endeavor's left us behind. What difference does it make at this point?
roll persuasion.
Am I anywhere near these guys now? Like
You're
blocked
hearing
up?
this part
Okay.
as the crowd kind of disperses and goes back down below and tending to their wounded, and some people have rallied and are trying to help bring in the survivors.
21.
21. Interesting. Okay. He gives you a hard look.
Fine.
I'll use my height and
Okay.
my drow glower.
He turns and goes,
See to it, Clayton.
and Clayton steps up and he starts barking orders and gives Thranduin like a very grateful look.
I just nod back, and then I go, or just help however he, whatever orders he does to help.
Clayton makes the command to drop anchor. And the boat comes to a grinding halt as the other 3 surviving ships continue onward without helping anyone. You guys are now overburdened with people. You have taken 4 hours and saved as many as you could. And eventually, creatures begin showing up. Creatures you haven't seen before with serrated teeth, very fast in the water. We, the party and players, would recognize them as sharks. Very large sharks. But the party has never before seen sharks. And they're wholesale just gobbling up everybody, sometimes just killing for pleasure. Like they'll kill a human or whatever, a humanoid, and then just let them float for a little while before another shark kind of comes up and chomps down. It is brutal to watch. At one point you see the sharks kind of regurgitating carcass and going in for more, as is their wont, because sharks are freaking evil. Needless to say, you are far behind the fleet. As the night sets, what do you do with your evening? You know that the fleet will be invading the island by morning. You're roughly 4 hours behind.
I'm going to assert dominance and take my bunk before any of these freeloaders get the chance to take it.
Okay.
It's been a long day. I saved a lot of people. I'm just gonna lay down.
As she runs to her to claim
Open my
hers,
flask.
call over to claim mine too, since it's like right next to it.
Yeah, same here. I'm
gonna,
flipping up on top. I'm hoping that you saved mine on the top.
No, okay, so actually I took mine, or I took yours, and yours is now below me. So that, like, whenever I go to puke, you just get a great view
Oh,
of
how
it.
dare you.
So I went ahead and rolled for this, and someone has indeed taken Otto's bunk.
How dare the audacity!
There is a lizard folk who is just snoring away.
Was this lizard folk on the ship before this
You-
debacle?
I don't know. This is no. This is a newbie.
This is a newbie.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm gonna go find Clayton.
Okay.
Oh,
Clayton
you're gonna
is
go-
being
you're gonna go talk-
reprimanded.
Because Clayton,
Clayton's good at kicking people out of bunks.
yeah,
Clayton-
he's really good at kicking people out of bunks. That's why I'm getting them.
You approach the captain's quarters, and you can hear him and see in the silhouette of the window of a dwarf just chewing out a dragonborn. And you see the one dwarf guarding the door, and he's just sweating. And he goes, "Night."
Night. Can I get in?
You're cold, mate. And he goes, "And for the last 10, what? You've got a visitor. It's one of the heroes. And I will let him in." And he goes, and you kind of come in, and you see Clayton kind of hunched, and kind of his jaw is set, and the dwarf is like just red in the face, just bellowing at everything and everything.
All right. Well, as much as I would like to sleep right now, I also am very curious about this situation. So I greet myself, or I greet them, and just, evening, Captain. How's everything going?
Yes, it goes great. Now, what is it that I can help you with?
Well, for myself, it's just to get somebody out of my bunk, but I want to know what's going on with the ship now that we've gotten back in some kind of nominal repair from what it was.
I'll tell you what's going to happen. He kind of gets up in your face. You know, he's looking up at you.
We're going to miss out on the career opportunity of a lifetime. We are going to take those natives by surprise and kill them wholesale, and I won't be there to get any of the glory.
And I look straight down at him, and it's like, and you wouldn't have got that anyways if this ship went down.
He kind of...
You're right, of course. Clayton. Oi. Go help this man go to bed.
Clayton kind of leaves, and the dwarf's just mean mugging you.
As he's mean mugging you, just remember, like, I'll say, before I say anything else, Captain, I'm going to take my leave. And I just give him a salute, and I start to walk out. I'm still curious about why he's so adamant about getting there faster than everyone else instead of, not dead.
Roll an insight check. As you walk, you're kind of pondering over, kind of looking over your shoulder at him.
23.
23. This man saw the opportunity of no captain because the captain died, and as the Phalanx saw a huge opportunity to really get a promotion in the ranks of the military of the Endeavor, and he's seeing that go up in flames. And he is not a good man. He does not care about the lives of those around him, and he does not care about preserving anyone, saving anyone. He cares about going and earning a promotion, and that is maybe out of reach for him now, because he is in hot water because he was not able to, you know, stop everyone from the debacle of being rammed by the other boats, and he knows it's going to come down on him, and he's just letting that pour out on everyone else around him.
Before I make my leave, right as I get to the door, I make one more, like, it's like, and one last thing, Captain. And I just turn back around to him and I go, just remember, it's better to be in hot water than in a cold sea with sharks, or with these creatures. And then just...
You see him kind of pale a little bit.
Yeah. Bid him a good night again, and I start to head back to my sleeping quarters.
Okay. While this is happening, Brittany, what are you up to?
I have taken to helping those who have just come on, helping them dry off. I am trying to make as many of the newcomers comfortable on deck as possible to try and just keep everything a little bit peaceful. Once everyone has settled down a little bit, I play some music, just very calm, like lullaby type, to help people rest.
Roll a performance.
So 12.
12. Okay. Desperate folk are so happy to not be dead. And the kindness you are showing to them and then performing for them, you are considered, you hear the term the heroes are being tossed around in regards to Otto, in regards to Dayton, in regards to Thranduin and yourself. As you were going about kind of finding places to put everybody, you took it upon yourself to start using some sail for blankets and pillows and such. The order that wasn't that the Phalanx was enforcing has kind of gone to crap. There are people being put in the storage in the hall where it's wet, and you made an effort to kind of help with that. You at one point realized that the nobility, his private quarters, are no longer, there's no one in it anymore because of his botched attempts at a coup. And you kind of go in there and you start, you know, you're like, all right, there's a bed there that can be used, this and this, we can have this. And then you kind of do a little double take and you realize all this cartographer equipment is just kind of lying around, not being used. It is infinitely better than what you have, and you have been, if I remember correctly, one of your primary goals was to map out the island and kind of make a name for yourself in doing so. The tools are of high quality. The vellum that you would be using for the paper is already lacquered and ready to be rained on if necessary. This waterproof, just high quality stuff. Are you going to take it?
Yes.
Okay. You kind of bundle all that up.
I'll consider
bring in the
this
people.
a tip.
Okay. And the night grows long.
Thranduin has been in the kitchens, trying to, like, he's not a great cook, but he has a little bit of experience from, you know, old servant things. So he's trying to kind of get everyone at least a little something to eat.
And the young lad who went through all that trauma is also there and kind of sits there and kind of points out different places where the food is and where the knives are, and he kind of preps alongside you and cleans up dishes, and he's just so happy that you're not his old boss who worshipped to death. Anything else you guys want to do before the night passes?
Just want to say Clayton flipped the lizard guy out of the...
Oh, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Dayton, as you're kind of in bed, kind of drifting off and enjoying that nice buzz coming on, you look over, and then, so this top bunk was Otto's. And there is a very angry looking dragonborn who's beginning to look a little more confused than anything else, but he's just like, "You're in the tiefling's bunk. I've been sent to remove you. Please."
Yeah, this is my bunk now. I wanted Yeah, no, see, he farts when he sleeps, and it's just. So I figured I would take this.
Am I anywhere near this right now? Have I made my way down?
Not
this?
yet. You're still talking to the
Damn
captain.
it.
I thought I would take this prime opportunity to just fix that for myself, you know. Instead of him farting on me, I'll just puke past him in the mornings, give him a little payback for 8 months of choking in my sleep.
All right, go ahead and roll persuasion.
So it's an 18.
Okay.
Liking the
He
character
kind of goes, "Oh," and Clayton kind of turns to you and goes, "So, with your dietary problems, is there any way that you could take one of these other bunks?"
Clayton.
Yeah.
Bottom bunk. I'm not like I wasn't trying to take it. Like Dayton took it, and I was like fine, and I was willing to take it. I'm bottom bunk. Get the lizard guy.
Oi! Move! There you go.
Thank you, Clayton. And as I walk over, it's like I just lean onto Dayton's cot real quick and just like, "Are you spreading rumors about the farts again?"
It's happened too many times, my dude. One more time, you're going overboard with those weird key things. Ugh. What were those, by the way?
No idea.
Like,
But I do not want to go into that water while they're there, so I'm gonna sleep here. And Thranny's
Oh god.
nice cooked meal for
yeah,
you.
I'm just gonna pat him on the back as I hop out of my bunk and make my way to find the elves to go gamble a bit, because I have a bit of coin that I can go have fun with.
Thank you. And I just flip back up.
You spend your evenings in relative luxury.
During this time, kind of during all the commotion of the bed situation, I had come back to gather all of my supplies and to put away the new cartographer's tools.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming my bunk is already taken, so I'm not even gonna attempt that. So I just keep my stuff on hand, and I also make my way. I see where Otto's going, and I also make my way to see what's cooking.
Okay. Otto and Brady appear in the kitchen, and Thranduin is just cooking up a storm.
As Brady and I start to walk in, I'm just like I'm still like giving her my conspiring of it's like, oh, I'm going to eat so much. I'm going to fart so much. Like just give her, letting her know it's like my devious plan. It's like she's going to be puking buckets for weeks. Like,
Well, as long as I'm not nearby, you do what you want to do. But if I am nearby, you better hold it in.
no promises. Hey, Thranny.
How's it going, guys?
What you making?
It's mostly a fish soup. With
Fish soup?
Are you slaying the goat?
Yeah. No. He
Okay.
little one didn't let me touch the goat. He's too fond of the goat. So I didn't.
He's sitting there
press
like,
him, so-
I give him a thumbs up. Like, good job.
so like, all right, fish stew.
fish stew and hard tack.
Immediately give it a little bit of a waft, and can I smell how pungent
It
this
is aromatic and fishy.
Oh, this is gonna be a good night. And I just take a big old spoonful of it.
Yep.
I stop him, and I'm like, "What's my name, Otto?"
It's gonna be one less hand less hand Thranny if you don't get your hand off me.
Ooh.
Say my name properly, Otto, and you can have dinner.
Are we doing an initiative on this?
Are you?
No, we're
that
not- we're
that's
not
up to you
combat.
if you want to go into
Oh.
combat.
I mean, I guess it's your balls in your court if you want to actually
Yeah,
make this combat.
You know what? Let's do this.
Oh my god.
I attempt to thwack you on the head with with the spoon.
Okay.
So roll initiative.
Yeah, we're
then?
rolling
Is that-
initiative. And Brady, are you getting in on this?
I just kind of step up, kind of in the middle of this thing, and I'm just like, come on, guys, let's not do this.
Okay, so both of you kind of reach for your various weapons, and the bard kind of steps in.
A spoon, like.
Okay, well, and the bard kind of steps in and kind of puts a hand on both of your chests and is like, guys, go ahead and roll persuasion, Brittany.
14.
What's everybody's charisma?
17.
My charisma is 17.
All right. Yeah, she does not roll high enough to convince you guys not to fight.
But she's in the middle of us, right?
Yep.
While she's in the middle of us, I try to eat as much, as much of the soup.
I've still got your arm. I'm like physically.
I'm chugging it with my other arm. I'm just putting it down my gullet as fast as possible.
The shenanigans and
You're
banter
a horrible
ensues.
person, Otto. You're really just a terrible person.
That was something I don't know. Anyway, thank you, Thranny. And I kind of like just slide the bowl on the kitchen table and start.
As soon as he turns away, I'm throwing a spoon at his head.
Okay. Sure. Rolled a hit. It's a dex.
16.
16. And Otto has an AC of 11. And the spoon bounces off the back of his head and does a single hit point of damage.
As I'm rubbing the back of my head and walking out, worth it!
I just keep stirring my stew and just grumbling.
The evening progresses. Eventually, everyone turns in for the night. Dayton loses some money. Morning comes. No one dies in the night. Hopefully, Otto.
How much did I
That's
fart?
a first.
How much did you fart? Roll a Constitution saving throw on the fish stew.
Did you take the top bunk back?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not gonna fight you over it. It's not worth it.
Like, you left to go gamble, I went to go get food, and I got to the bunk first.
That's fair. I'm just gonna. So as we're laying there, I'm just gonna like lay there and then stick my leg up and like kick you like an annoying kid on an airplane.
Stop! You're hitting my tail.
Repeatedly kick you
My tail.
as you're trying to sleep.
This is gonna be just the
Oh,
best campaign.
Can I just like be like swatting back at her with my tail from the top? So
Yeah,
both of us just slapping each other.
It's safe to say that the banter is enjoyable, wholesome, and a little bit salty.
Thranduin is going to, when he's finally done, he's going to walk by and see that nobleman chamber.
Yep.
Unoccupied.
It is occupied.
Ah, who?
I put people in there.
Birdie, why?
That's true. As a drow, that was kind of a indentured servant. You would kind of be looking at those nice quarters.
I was like, oh, what? A mattress? What is this?
There are like 5 kids all bundled together on that mattress, sleeping like just peacefully and adorably.
The children.
I will say in closing that Brady finds her bunk bed conspicuously empty, and almost as if it was defended by a small, terrifying army of children.
I definitely sleep in my bed then.
Night comes, night passes. There
Right,
are.
is my bed there? Now I gotta know. Like,
Oh,
is
I'm
my
sorry.
My bed there?
You do have to kind of have.
Because I told Dayton to check on it, but she up and left. So
your bed is taken by the lizard folk that was turned out by
I'm gonna walk up to him and I'm gonna just kick him awake and just glare at him.
Why?
Get out of my bed.
Oh.
Get out of my bed.
Hey, he gets out of bed.
I sleep like a baby.
With no more
Screaming and
than
kicking
3
on
farts, the night passes.
How many pukes though?
None.
Morning comes.
Like every morning.
Brandwood races by you and goes up the stairs.
Feed the fishes.
Yeah, you chum the waters.
Wave hi to my.
Yeah,
bunny
there's not
up
just
the crow's
fishies in
nest.
there now. Remember that.
Right. Wave hi to the weird things. Wave hi my buddy in the crow's nest. Are those fish? Are those birds still around him?
They are. There's
Yeah.
even more so now, the closer we have gotten to land.
Yeah, just gonna give him a nod.
The music continues.
By this point, I've like gotten caught into shoved in my ears when I'm on deck.
Yeah, you get his attention and nod, and he just kind of.
And I'm like,
So is the music
can't hear
bad
anything.
or is it?
It's shrill.
Oh,
Yeah.
And it's not. It's he's no bard. I mean, he is, but he's not.
so can we all, like, how much land do we see and how far off is it?
Everyone who is on deck. Does everyone else kind of make their way up, or is Otto still sleeping?
I'm still sleeping.
Brittany, do you go above deck?
Oh, absolutely. I was up there maybe a minute after.
Okay.
Thranny.
After our routine.
I thought I could maybe get a little more shut-eye, but no, not working.
As you guys are up there is a nervous energy. This is the day that you finally get to arrive at the island that was scryed as powerfully magical. Everyone's kind of, the dwarven guards, they stand a little taller to attention. The elves slink a little more out of sight, wanting to kind of stay out of trouble for one more day. The children are even quieter than usual because they're usually just running around screaming, but now they're all just kind of like, ooh, The dwarf phalanx captain of the guard steps out of the captain's quarters and gestures at Clayton, the dragonborn, and they kind of strut to the front. The phalanx pulls out the captain's old spyglass and begins looking, and you see him just kind of whisper something to the dragonborn and hand over the spyglass. You also notice that the one pistol on the ship is in his belt, not holstered like it was with the captain, just kind of shoved in there. Clayton does the same, where he looks more confused than alarmed, and they begin furtively talking to each other.
I notice this, and I make my way up there and just kind of like, is everything okay?
Clayton kind of looks over his shoulder down to you and hands you the spyglass. You see the fleet sailing towards the island. It is taken on a spearhead formation with the man of war, the giant warship, in its front. And past that, you see the island. High shelf. As far as you can see around it, sheer cliff. On the southern side, you're approaching from the east. On the southern side is a dormant volcano, surrounded by swamp and marsh. The rest looks like very mountainous, forested regions. You see many creatures flying, and the fact that you can see them at all, it attests to how large they are. The most interesting thing that kind of, you pick all that up in passing, but what really draws your eye is the cleft, the chunk missing in the island on the easternmost side. Almost like someone just took a bite out of an apple. Just this massive half circle of missing sheer cliff that looks like it's been crumbled down. And floating, in lieu of where the island chunk should be, is this massive floating rock that looks like it's been hollowed out and turned into some kind of city. It is anchored by
rope,
an ancient chain. They're still too far away to see any people or anything like that, but you just see this monolithic, massive floating rock.
And the rest of the fleet, they haven't arrived yet. They're still heading there.
No, they're making the they're on their way now, and you can see everyone kind of loading up their cannons and aiming the mortar, and you see various people making equations, and all the flags are at their most beautiful. Flags are out, and they're all signaling each other and getting into battle formations. The center of the fleet being the non-military vessels, they begin falling back a little bit, and the The spearhead moves forward. The phalanx curses his luck for not being able to be where he's supposed to be right now.
Yeah, I hand back the spyglass, and I just kind of look at the two as he's grumbling, and I just kind of look at him and say, do you even know what we're coming up on? Do we have any idea what any of those creatures are, or who that civilization is, or what they're capable of?
The phalanx just kind of squints at you. And Clayton kind of says, as he kind of looks between the two of you, he goes, unfortunately, someone stole the manifest. We're not sure 100% what we're going into. The captain would have known.
Hearing that, I just kind of go, alrighty then, and turn around and quickly go to find Dayton.
Okay. Dayton is with Thranduin, discussing matters of chumming the waters.
I think if we chum the water enough, we'll see some of those things.
Wait.
Stop. No.
Brittany
Don't
kind
do
of comes
that.
over, is like,
I quickly explain what I had seen and looked to Dayton. Apparently, I think that piece of paper you have should be able to explain what we're going. Should be able to explain what we're going up against. So you might. Have you learned anything new?
Have I learned anything new, voice in my head?
being able to speak Elder Common when you stole this scroll of manifest and instructions and what the vision was scryed of. By the way, George, Creighton can speak Elder Common. Go ahead and write that down. It'll come into play later. Elder Common being the deep speech, if you will, of your land. It is used by the religious faction within the Endeavor. The High Monarch of the Stormfather scryed this island, which is what initiated this journey. And he spoke of adverse gravitational magics, which makes a lot of sense to Bridie now that she has seen an entire column of negated gravity. The chunk being anchored there, you realize it's not hanging off those ropes and chains, it's merely tethered so it doesn't float away from the pillar of negated gravity and fall into the sea. So there's an entire column of no gravity that they have turned into a little city. You can call it the capital of the natives. It also goes on to say that the natives are up to something and discovering things that should not be possible. And the High Monarch goes on to condemn them for evil acts and vilifies them to his following. It's a lot of propaganda.
Right. So I'm gonna, hey, Birdie, you said that they didn't know what this said. Right. Go over to the quarterdeck and be like, hey. Yeah,
you see the two idiotic
I follow.
nautical
workmen, sailors,
the people
dumb
who
butts,
man the wheel.
I'm just gonna
butts.
go over to the one that had the manifest and like slide it in his hand and be like, so I translated that thing for you. You're welcome.
Hey, well, I gave you the good stuff. I gave you the liquor that you wanted for it.
Yeah, you did, and it didn't last me very long, did
well,
it?
you drank it all, didn't you? Now, what did you find out? It's high time we talked.
Do you want me to just not tell you?
No.
Very nice.
No, not at all. He completely kind of...
Yeah. All right, so listen up. Apparently, the people that live on this island up to some weird stuff. Gravitational magics, they're discovering something weird. The Endeavor's not about it.
Of course not.
I don't know. Of course not. Yeah, that's about it. just gravitational magics. That's really it. And then the directions, I already translated that for you. So really, I guess you can take credit for this. I don't care. Good for you. Just gonna pat him on the back and then walk away.
He kind of has the manifest that he can't read.
Yeah.
And he goes,
Yeah.
all right then. Okay. So, Otto, Thranduin, what are you guys up to?
Still sleeping.
I'm with the party right now. Or
Okay.
with the quarterdeck.
The party watches from a distance as best as they can as the invasion begins. First, the mortar, being the longest range, begins pummeling from a distance as it comes into range into the floating rock that is the natives' capital. And to your surprise, they begin Angry Birdsing rocks back at a surprising amount of accuracy, at a surprising amount of range. And they don't focus the militarized ships, the armored ships. They begin sinking wholesale various other ships from the center with impeccable accuracy. Some murmurings on the ship as everyone on board kind of watches, and they're like, they shouldn't be able to do that, you know? As the other mortars from the other ships kind of come in, and they just start peppering this floating rock, and it begins, you know, taking massive chunks in it, begin breaking apart, and you can see ropes being cast and kind of pulling it back together. And then you hear a weird sound that at first you thought might have been mortar. And then you feel a pressure in your ears, and you realize you wouldn't have felt that from here, being 4 or 5 hours behind. Everyone make perception checks. Except Otto, who's asleep. Actually,
Yeah,
the pressure would wake you up.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Can I like roll to keep sleeping?
You don't have to roll, but you are awoken by a painful pressure in your ears, almost as if you jumped in altitude real fast.
Fair enough.
What did everyone else
You
get?
thought sleeping would save you.
So I rolled a natural 1.
Okay, you got nothing. You're like, ow, why? You're like, swimmer's ear.
Total of 16 for me.
16? Thranduin?
11.
11, okay. Thranduin, you're able to ascertain that that is not cannon fire the likes you have ever heard. And a chill goes down your spine, because this is one of the first times you've ever really encountered magic of this largest scale. Brady is familiar with magic, and she watches in horror as she sees multiple people on the foremost ships, maybe half the fleet, on the foremost half. They all begin as one, unanimously. All the humanoids on the boats drop. Too quick. They just, and then you begin hearing creaking and groaning and cracking, and then all of a sudden, all the ships flatten, snapping. They don't sink. Here's the surface of the ocean. They go from here to here, splintering, screaming.
Glad we stayed behind to help those people, huh?
Just a shocked silence comes over the ship. You hear Clayton just gasp and pray to the Stormfather. Turns out he knows Elder Common. What do you do?
Stop the ship.
We're not seriously going into that, are we?
We need to approach from a different direction.
We are absolutely moving forward.
Not that way.
He says
Did
as
you
you
not
feel
just
the
see what
pressure,
happened?
as you feel
This
the
isn't
pressure
ambush you thought it
begin,
was.
you feel the pressure begin building in your ears again.
Stop the ship. We.
Otto, you roll up and it's happening again.
Oh god.
And you hear a dead silence from every human on board or humanoid.
It's like a ringing in our ears.
No, like you're violently going up in altitude and like when you take off in a plane but much faster. It's just crushing pressure.
Gotcha.
Slower this time. It was just one whoop last time. Now it's this growing terror.
All right. Well, if I'm trying to get out of bed, that's probably not great for my equilibrium.
Okay, roll a dex check at disadvantage. Brady and Thranduin, what do you do?
I'm arguing with
Okay,
Phalanx.
so Dayton and Thranduin both begin talking to the Phalanx. Brady, what are you doing?
17.
17?
Yeah.
You land on your feet.
Yay! What the hell is going on? And I'm trying to like just get my way up to the top.
With that yell, chaos just erupts on board. Everyone just starts screaming and running around with nowhere to go. So everyone else, it's all quiet. Whispered arguments to the Phalanx, and then, what the hell is going on? Everyone starts screaming and hugging each other.
I am the epitome of chaos and order on this ship.
Chaos and order.
Yeah, I do both. I'm ambidextrous that way. All right.
The pressure is mounting.
I just kind of, I guess, stare over our little friend and just point at the massacre that's happening.
If we don't.
That's about to happen again.
If we don't.
cannot survive this. This isn't the ambush that you thought it was. We need to take a different angle. If you want any hope of glory, it's not by going headfirst into that.
Dayton?
Listen, these people, the people that live here, they know some weird magic, gravitational stuff. It's something we've never even begun to think about. We have no idea what we're up against. We try to go there, that's us, dead in the water. You need to stop the ship.
To his credit, the Phalanx bears under the weight and looks.
We've been given an order, and I plan to follow those orders.
Clayton starts stepping behind the Phalanx quietly. And everyone freezes as it suddenly crescendos in your ears again. And everyone looks, and you see more people begin dropping. And you hear the splintering and the creaking and the strain, and another large swath of ships begin flattening. Not as many this time, and not as quickly. The rest of the ships come into range, and they begin just they pull sideways, and they just begin pummeling in a panic to survive. Begin just firing every cannon they have got at this capital, at this floating city monolith, and it just begins breaking apart, and people are you can see at this point people like floating out, grabbing chunks of rock and city and throwing it back together, and they begin lashing it together, and more ships begin getting plucked off. And it's at this time the ships break. They begin going off north and south to go around it, and they continue to get plucked off by Angry Birds level slingshotted rock and rubble. The Phalanx turns, shoves the the Dragonborn Clayton out of the way and goes, "We're not even in range. We have nothing to be concerned about. Go north." And he begins. The incompetent helmsman begins immediately.
Yay,
like,
you
thank
got there.
God, thank the storm father, and begins huffing northward. The two other ships that are behind with you guys, they also begin to divert, and then one of them gets punched. A rock, incorrectly assuming that y'all were out of range, punches right through the boat, and you watch it just shatter. Again, disgustingly accurate, right through the center. For all this,
These were boats that were retreating?
these are the three of you that were way behind by 5 hours.
But still moving forward, not trying to divert?
No, they're trying to divert.
So they were trying to divert.
So throughout all this, the Man of War, the giant flagship of the Endeavor, has withstood all this. And it kind of begins floating under, or it kind of gets into range to be able to turn, and hundreds just cannon fire just begins pummeling into this, and the floating rock completely just comes apart. And then a final horror. You see a geyser erupt straight through the center of it, of the Man of War. People go flying, and the radius of the geyser begins expanding and expanding and expanding until the ship just falls into 2 pieces. Make perception checks.
Oh, that's a nat 20.
Nice.
17.
2.
You got any d20s left there, Caitlin?
I have so many dice up.
9.
Pretty.
I was gonna say, you said earlier that I could kind of feel a little bit more with the magic, sorta.
Being magically attuned, familiar with magic.
Is there any way I can get any kind of general idea of where the source of the magic is coming from?
Make an Arcana check.
21.
20. So, as alien as this magic is, it functions in its base form in a similar manner than the deific magic that you're familiar with from clerics and paladins. This is coming from a deific source, a spiritual realm. That perception check that Thranduin made. There is a rock in the sky, and as you look, you've been keeping an eye out this whole time, ever since the other ship that was close to you got thwomped. And you see a brief shadow, and you look up, and you see a rock just arcing towards the boat.
Not a boulder.
Not just a boulder.
A large chunk of rock.
It's a rock.
It's big enough to be problematic.
So, rock flying towards the ship.
Yes. Everyone.
Oh,
Yeah, well, you say you look up and you note it, and you realize you have about 6 seconds, roughly a turn. Are you going to make the party aware?
yeah.
Okay, everyone, you have
I
exactly
think we're
one
pretty freaking
action.
aware.
You have an action and a bonus action before your ship gets punctured.
Cool. I'm gonna run for the side of the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a speedy monk.
Mm-hmm.
And yeet myself over the edge into the water and like swim as.
You just cast yourself into the water.
Yeah.
And you land in the water.
Yep. I don't want to be on that boat.
Yeah, you land in the water, and you kind of briefly see the flotsam of the other ship and the people screaming, and every now and then you see it. The last thing you kind of notice is actually I'll get to that. Brittany, Otto, Thranduin.
I run and following right after. Shoot, your name just slipped my mind. Dayton. I was gonna call you Dante, and I was like, that's not right.
No.
Right, I'm following very close behind Dayton, and am I allowed to, as I'm running, cast Speak with Animals to convince the creatures of the water to help us swim and get away?
Sure.
I thought you were gonna be like, goat, come on.
Yeah, I thought you were getting the goat.
No.
Oh my god, screw the kids! Screw the kids who have been loyal to
Unfortunately,
you
you
this
can-
entire time. We just need the goat.
You can only speak to one animal at a time with that spell. So you can
Okay.
reach out to a shark that you see as you
Okay,
jump into the water.
that's
So-
what I do. Big
What do you
shark's my
what do you
friend.
say?
Jailhouse rules. Find the biggest one.
What do you say to
Oh,
this
man,
shark
what do
as
I
you
say?
see it? You jump into the water and you see a shark kind of under the monk.
Trust me, she really doesn't taste good, and I can guarantee you that if you help us get out of this, there will be something very good in it for you. I promise you.
Okay, you say that. You smash into the water. Thranduin, Otto, what are you guys doing?
I'm gonna climb up the mast into the lookout thing.
Okay,
The crow's
roll a dex check as you scramble up the ropes.
While this is happening, can we like gauge where it's gonna hit in the boat? Is it just gonna be right in the middle, or is this like
You've
on
been
a
watching
piece?
it puncture dead center.
Okay, so it's dead center.
Otto,
12.
the one thing you do notice, what'd you get, Thranduin?
12.
12. Okay, you do not fall, and you
Yay.
get about you get up to the top, and you kind of make eye contact with Sam, the bard in the crow's nest, so that the elf in the crow's nest, and he just starts playing furiously, and it's the most
Glass.
beautiful music you've ever heard.
Aw. Tear.
Otto, you watch the phalanx pull the pistol, stick it in his mouth,
Oh, you son of a.
and take the easy way out. And blows himself into the next realm.
Why did you just say?
Grab the pistol.
Yeah.
It does lots of
Cuckoo, 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 cuckoo.
You do see the pistol clatter to the ground, and everything goes onto Clayton, who also takes a bit of a hit, and he falls off the side of the boat.
Okay, that was actually like as much as the pistol. I was looking for Clayton first, but if they're both in the same area, I'm just like I'm booking it right towards Clayton as he's falling off, and I'm trying to pick up the pistol as I.
You can snatch up the pistol as your bonus action and go down over with Clayton.
and I'm just like just.
Okay. Dayton. The last thing you see as the rock punctures through this boat and you're thrown into the wake of the wreckage is small black tendrils reaching up and grabbing onto various corpses, specifically corpses, and slowly pulling them down. The rock punches right through Thranduin, decimating him, blowing him to absolute pieces,
Me.
right through the center of the ship, dragging him down with it. So the rock connects right to his chest, blows through him, and passes through the ship, bringing him down to the depths. And the last thing Thranduin sees is the ship imploding on itself. Everyone else gets sucked into the wake as the water all ejects, lifts everyone up, and then claps together.
Okay, but what about Sam though?
You don't know.
Okay.
I'm glad that I didn't go with Randy.
Everything goes a bit dark for a little while. Creighton.
So are we just swimming?
You are clapped into unconsciousness.
So drowning.
Creighton, you are aboard the Man of War. And you watch the geyser erupt. Roll a dex check to avoid being ascended.
Obliterated.
The human barbarian.
18.
18. You reach backwards. You've been rolling strength checks this whole time to avoid being cast into the ground with this gravitational shenanigans. Everyone around you is just faceted to the ground, screaming and praying. You have 6 seconds, an action and a bonus action, before your ship is predictably splintered.
Is there just are there passengers on board, or are they all soldiers?
It's all military. This is the head of the military.
I am getting off of that ship.
Okay. You cast yourself into the water.
Elegantly.
One dive into the worst day of your life.
And so begins the worst day of your life as you begin using various bodies as deterrents and keeping an eye on all the various sharks around you and kind of trying to keep other bodies of people and corpses and flotsam, and you get on top of some flotsam, and unless you want to dictate anything specifically, you spend the next couple of hours trying to kind of... Do you go north or south?
I go towards land.
Okay, so you go south.
Yes.
The other side being a bit too far away. You begin, because you don't have any armor on, you're able to just kind of whoosh and just keep huffing your way. Jake. Thranduin, your eyes open, and you begin vomiting seawater.
Oh.
You look about yourself, and you're bleeding profusely from pretty much everywhere.
Hello.
You kind of look up, and you're in a really swanky bar. You see a gentleman with elongated features, curly mustache.
Welcome. Care for a drink?
Am I dead?
That is up for you to decide. Come, friend. Drink.
I just take whatever it is.
You have been on quite a journey.
As you kind of sit down at the bar stool, he kind of leans forward.
You have come a very long way to my domain. What is it that brought you here?
A fresh start. That went well.
Well, it doesn't have to end just yet. When I came to this island, I thought to make it mine as well. I see a likeness in myself to you. Forgive me. My name is Gent. And what is your name?
Thranduin.
Thranduin. It is a good name. What does it mean?
The gentleman has slicked back gray hair, nice cotton vest, slightly plain in attire. Sorry, and he's got his cuffs all the way up on both sides. Little bow tie. And he has shifting tattoos on his forearms. He has a red feathered quill on one side, various liquors that you don't recognize nor can you read.
I see a great potential in you.
Alright.
And I see you failing in this time. I was most excited when I saw that you would be coming to my domain.
And what is your domain?
It was this island. I made it mine, see. And then I got admittedly very cocky. And I was ensconced, trapped, as it were, by the surface dwellers. The insects. His people.
His people. Who are we talking about?
The lord of the island, the protector. You will learn in time. Thranduin. I could use you. You are a man. Sorry. You are a drow.
Right.
And I know that your people have been abandoned or taken or abused. This is not what I would do. I see a mutual beneficiary. There is...
He kind of pauses. And you see him get distracted as he looks kind of far away for a second. And he snaps back to attention.
Apologies. I need to be freed. You do not wish to die. I believe
Ideal.
that I could give you power.
What kind of power?
I am an artist, see?
And he pulls out his red feathered quill and he pierces his tongue. A red drop of blood. And he begins what you realize now is an unfinished tattoo on himself. He's not even looking.
I can teach you great powers. I can unlock the abilities for you to do powerful things. Magical abilities that you cannot dream of. But
Like
in
what they did to the
return...
ships?
What?
Like what they did to the ships?
No!
Oh.
Never that! Apologies. I have been trapped for a very long time. I have not spoken, deemed anyone worthy to speak of, and for hundreds of years.
Oh. And he realized he kind of ruined his tattoo. And he claws it out. And you see it kind of grow back and heal. And he begins anew.
I am willing to save you, Thranduin, and gift to you these powers. But in return, I need your help. I must be freed.
Alright. Seems easy enough. Where they got you? Help. Where are you trapped at?
I know not. You will be
Very
mine
unhelpful.
eyes, as it were. I will not always be looking over your shoulder.
Cool.
There are various monoliths and beings that are of him. They need to be destroyed.
Alright.
Do we have any questions?
Yeah. again, what sort of powers are we talking about? Let's get some of these juicy deets, as they say, on the surface.
He kind of does this. He's thinking. He goes, in your tongue, they would refer to you as a warlock. And I would be your patron.
Sounds official.
Your powers would not come from me, but be unlocked by me. I will tattoo you.
Yeah, alright, cool. Can I get it like right here?
Absolutely.
Or maybe, do you think it'd be better on the bicep? It can move when I flex. I don't know. What do you think would be cooler? I don't know.
Whatever you like.
He
gestures for you to lay your arm out on the bar.
A stray thought is just like tramp stamp. He's like, nah.
He's like, no. He toasts, and there's a drink before you of crisp pear and honey. And he raises a glass to a partnership.
Yeah, partners. Yeah, cool.
He puts it back, and as you throw it back, you feel yourself falling off the stool, and your vision blinks, and you fall into unconsciousness. You awake. Nope. Underwater. You've taken in some water, and you eject it, and you look about you, and there are bodies everywhere. Flotsam and carcasses and swimmers and people bleeding and drowning and dying all about you, clambering over each other to get onto bigger flotsam and casting each other into the water, and sharks everywhere, and to your horror, inky black tendrils taking the corpses and dragging them down into the dock. You breach the surface. Make a perception check.
That's a 3.
Ooh, okay. There is a massive island in front of you.
Holy crap!
And that's all you got.
I will swim towards it as best I can, avoiding.
As you do,
death.
You see a barbarian just flying, like just hauling towards towards the side of the island.
Just gonna follow that dude.
Otto, you awaken.
Just like a dolphin swimming.
You are on a very large piece of flotsam, to your surprise, and a dead Clayton next to you. And you look up, and he must have saved you.
Son of a...
And you watch a black tendril come out of the water and latch onto him and slowly begin pulling him into the water.
No!
Okay.
I'm definitely trying to get my bearings about the whole situation. I'm trying to figure out where the Hope Diamond is and get on top of this piece of board.
Make your perception check.
All right. 12.
Okay. You see a shark. And in his
Pointy
mouth,
bitey things.
and in his open mouth, are 2 humanoid forms. And it's attempting to keep them above the water. And they are very much unconscious.
Oh, okay.
Dayton, you come to.
Yeah.
You believe yourself at first to be eaten alive by a shark before you realize that you are being... you're being cut up pretty bad, but you are being carried with Brady towards the island, who is still unconscious.
This is the weirdest thing I've ever experienced.
Make your perception check.
Okay. Cool. Want to guess?
Oh my god, a 1?
Wow.
Yep. 4
Okay.
dice now in jail, I swear.
You are kind of
Oh,
face
wouldn't-
down, and you kind of, as the eyes of Brittany flutter open, you're like directly right there, and you make eye contact with each other. Horror struck, looking around. Brittany, you wake up, and you're in the mouth of a shark, and before you is Dayton.
Getting poked and prodded.
Yeah, you're being
Those
cut
teeth.
up something fierce, but you recognize the shark that you spoke to and befriended. What do you do, Brittany?
I'm obviously startled at first, and I look at Dayton and I'm like, "Are you dead?"
No, can we get out of this thing?
Am I dead? No.
No, you're not dead.
Okay, so I gently pat, I guess, the shark's tongue. Thank you. Can we by chance hold on from the outside now? Just
It kind of vomits its stomach up and pushes you guys out.
Yeah.
You guys are kind of
I got-
belched out. Brady, make your perception check. Also, Creighton, go ahead and make a perception check. You're getting tired at this point. You've been swimming for hours.
20.
20. Okay. You notice the whole party. Creighton,
Is it perception?
Yep.
11.
11. Okay. You and Brady both notice a waterfall on the sheer cliff, but it is falling upwards.
I don't know much, but I do know I want to get out of this water.
I looked at Dayton,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm holding on to the shark, and I assume she is too. And I point out the waterfall. Maybe if we swim to it, it can, shoot us up and we can get on the island.
You see, as you're saying this, you see Otto looking around furtively from his flotsam, and in between you and Otto, Thranduin just and starts coughing up salt water.
Freddy! You made it!
What's up,
Let me
guys?
die now.
Also, I still hate you.
What did you say?
Are you two? Holy.
As you guys are doing this and kind of talking to each other, directly through you, a barbarian just you guys have a little wake. And you guys see him get to the bottom of a waterfall that is falling upwards,
We head towards that.
also surrounded by bodies and screaming people.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna kick a piece of driftwood over to Thranduin.
Gratefully accept this piece of.
So this is all terrible. Can we I don't know. That barbarian seems to have the right idea. Can we grab one of these dorsal fins off of your little taxi cab ride, or your little carriage ride?
Those were words, but I'm not sure what you were trying to say with that.
Yeah, well, I also sucked up a lot of seawater, so give me a break.
I just died, basically.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Backpacks are getting heavy.
Okay, first let's get out of the
The
water.
barbarian makes it to the waterfall as the party begins following suit.
On the shark.
Is Brittany still able to talk to the shark, and can we
If she casts spells, yes. If she wants to use up her spell slots.
grab a fin? By the way, because I slept, do I get my 1 HP back?
Yes.
Cool. I'll take it.
Clayton, go ahead and make a athletics at advantage, because the water is also helping propel you upwards. You feel as you get to it kind of an adverse gravitational effect, where all your clothes begin kind of, your bags begin hanging upwards. It's not enough to lift you up, but it's enough that the water is trickling upwards.
23.
Let it.
23. You get there and you just start hauling up wholesale. And you get about halfway up, and you see these strange plant-like, barnacle-esque seaweed pods begin kind of trying to grab whatever flotsam is going up this waterfall and kind of pull it up into their little barnacle pods.
Yummy.
Sounds like Dayton gets to the bottom of the waterfall. Make your athletics check.
18 minus 1, so that's 17.
Okay. Yeah, you begin making your way up the reversed waterfall. Thranduin, you now have 1 level in Warlock. And you look about yourself and into the water as the rest of the party. You're kind of in the back, and you're kind of keeping an eye out, and you see some sharks begin making their way towards you. Brady, go ahead and make that athletics check, or Otto, whoever's going next.
Oh, 18.
Okay, you leaving your shark friend behind.
Bye.
Who's
Otto,
still down there with me?
you
Is
and
it just me
Thranduin.
down here now.
You and
Like a
Thranduin.
shark.
Yeah, and the
Thranduin?
shark.
Have at it. It seems like you've been through a lot.
I appreciate that. Also, sharks incoming, and then I just
You're right.
hop on.
Make that athletics check.
12.
You're making your
Look at me
slow
go.
way up. Otto.
Yeah. So, I'm just making my way to the.
You're at the bottom of it.
I'm at
You
the
may
bottom
roll
of
an
it.
athletics check at advantage to go up.
16.
Okay. You.
Before I go up though, can I just turn around real quick to the shark that was holding Dayton Bertie and be like, I'm sorry about Bertie. She has a lot of problems abandoning things that trust her, and fly up into the air.
Okay. And you begin making your way up. Kind of, you
She's
get
abandoned
alongside Thranduin, and you're both kind of right alongside each other, kind of like, oh god.
So this is great, right? Puffing and puffing as I'm like,
Yeah. Creighton, what do you do?
Can I see
Creighton.
what's going on below me, or am I focused on?
No,
just
you're
one?
focused on the vines that are taking things from this waterfall. Reversed waterfall. A water rise?
How soon can I get to a position where I can stop swimming?
You're able to kind of hold on
Cool.
with relative
I'll,
ease.
I'll hold on and take a look at my surroundings to see what's going on with people.
Okay. You've got sheer cliff to the right and left. You can vaguely see a couple of ships rounding around and disappearing around the crest of the volcano, going to the other side of the island.
And below me.
Below you, you see four scallywags, all kind of clambering around and various states of panic.
The rogue is at the bottom of the waterfall.
He is
attacked by sharks, is he not?
He is now alongside Thranduin, the drow elf, and they're roughly 5 feet up.
How much farther am I from them?
About 50 feet.
Can I still hold on to the vines and get the hemp rope that is
Yeah.
attached to one of my backpacks and
Sure.
toss it down?
You can uncoil your rope and heft it.
Yeah, I'll do that.
A rope comes down and appears along the sides of the party.
Ah.
Are you going to kind of just wrap it around your arm and muscle it?
Yep.
Okay. The party may latch onto the rope and just start hefting their way up if they choose to.
Yeah.
You said-
100% start hefting.
Yep.
You said
Oh,
I
here you
had
go.
shot up. Am I still below?
You are beneath Creighton,
Okay.
and I believe Dayton is under you, and then Otto and Thranduin are neck and neck.
Yeah, I definitely grab on.
Okay.
I would like some help.
All right, which leaves us with Creighton. What are you going to do about these strange plant-like aggressors?
So currently I'm latched on and trying to help out my friends. I really can't fight them, can I?
You cannot.
First thing, I cut the rope. Like,
I will let out a beastly roar as I realize that things are about to get a little bit more serious for me. And I begin to rage.
You go into a rage.
Yes.
Everything tinging slightly red.
My fur on my body starts to get a little bit thicker.
Okay. Oh, that's right. You're the totem of the bear.
I'll hold on for dear life.
Okay. Brady, you make it up to alongside the barbarian human who looks a little furry, and you see this problem with the plants just cocooning around things, that the flotsam that goes up, and the fish and the body and various bits of human, and cocoon around it and pull it into their little barnacle-y bits. What do you do?
Oh man. I'm still holding on, right? Or did I?
Yeah, you're still holding on.
Pass now. Assuming I can hold on with one hand.
Mm-hmm.
I pull out. I think I. Oh, do I still have my short sword?
You do.
I pull that out. And you said that they're above us?
Yes.
I try to get a little leverage, just like a little bit further up, to swing and see what damage I can cause, and see if it's even possible with a sword.
You don't manage to, as you're kind of holding onto the rope, you don't manage to do anything of any difference. Nothing seems to change. You kind of crack at the barnacle bits and it doesn't really have any effect. You clatter against the rock itself. Let's go down to Dayton.
So the waterfall's still propelling me, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna ride that wave. Oh, no, wait. I'm gonna cast Misty Step and just... Well, how far is the top?
Roughly 30 feet.
So I'm gonna cast Misty Step and just Misty Step myself there.
Okay, so Otto and Thranduin, you guys are kind of jostling each other, looking up at the party, and you watch the monk like just coalesce and into mist, and then
there's like a rainbow, because I imagine, since I'm a summer Eladrin, there's
absolutely
like a little bit,
and just a little
sunshine, and that makes a rainbow on the waterfall.
Sure,
it's really cool. Finesse.
Absolutely. You coalesce, and you are at the top of the cliff. There is a small, roughly 50-yard circle of grass. The waterfall, reverse waterfall, comes up and begins flowing into the tree line. A small ring of white birch trees surround this almost perfect circle of grass before turning into pine and underbrush and various forest. Otto and Thranduin, what are y'all up to?
So we're up at the top two now?
You are the bottom of the rope, but you are roughly 20, 30 feet up.
Okay.
Keep on climbing.
Yeah.
Okay, you get to Brady, and you can't go any farther. Brady and Creighton.
And we're just all hanging.
You're all
out.
y'all just hanging.
The top, don't worry about me.
We can't, like... Are we
What can you
trying
do?
to make our progress?
Well, you can attempt to clamber over Brady and Creighton.
No.
Okay. So it's safe to say maybe you hold your action?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Thranduin?
don't have anything else to do. Yeah.
Okay. Thranduin, as you go, you reach up and you look over and you see this intricate tattoo all along the inside of your forearm. And it all kind of comes back to you. The visions that the dreamlike visions that you had.
So much for the bicep.
Dayton, you kind of stand there and you look about. What do? You look down and you see the human barbarian and Brady
All right.
the half elf.
They're just kind of stuck there, right?
They're kind of stuck there because of these strange barnacle plant creatures cocooning and trying to just take everything they can.
Let's see,
Oh.
what can I do? That is, they're just, they're not down enough that I can. Okay, I'm gonna take out. I mean, I guess I could try to attack the thingy.
Okay.
I guess.
You got a weapon?
I have some darts.
Okay. You roll to hit.
How strong are these plants?
You are unaware. You into one of the vines and it recoils into its barnacle. There's 2 more. Okay. Roll to hit.
Natural 20.
You disperse of the rest of the vines.
Yeah.
Creighton and Brady, the path is clear to you.
You're welcome.
You're great.
Thanks.
Thank you. I won't fart on you tonight.
Yep.
I make my way up, assisting. Can Creighton move, or no? Is the weight too much?
Yeah, he's a big hefty boy. He's able to
Okay.
kind of. And he's also enraged.
That was my question.
So, to kind of help, I get off and start climbing on my own.
Okay, that definitely
and
makes it
make
easier
my
for
way
him.
up.
Yeah, I'll do the same because the water's still pushing us up anyway, right?
Yeah.
So, kinda
Everyone
easy.
makes it to the top, with Dayton kind of keeping a look around as she kind of helps up the party.
Yeah.
The party rolls onto their back and assesses the damage.
Gonna reach into my pocket, pull out the manifest, crumple it up, and just throw it over the cliff.
Okay.
Wait, I thought you already gave the manifest back to the dudes.
Did I?
Oh yeah, you did.
I'm gonna reach to do that. I'm gonna reach to do it. Not there.
Everyone, roll a D100 on the injury table.
Oh, goody.
Let's start with Otto. You have a broken nose, and that's it.
Great.
Look at you with your little crooked nose.
Great.
You're like, oh. Are you gonna kind of reset it, or are you gonna?
Yeah. Just gotta get that. Okay. There we go.
Oh, that sounded real.
Medicine check.
All right. There we go.
Brady. Okay, I'll get to you in a second. Dayton, you have a fractured wrist. Anything that requires 2 hands, dexterity or strength, you'll be at disadvantage.
That's like all I do, man.
Mm-hmm. It's bad.
This is the moneymaker right
Hurts a
here.
lot. Thankfully, it's not your dominant hand. Actually, let's find out. It's your non-dominant hand.
Oh, come on, that's still a moneymaker.
Creighton, you believe your knee is dislocated. You're not going to be able to move at all at this time. Now that your rage is kind of pittering out, you look down and the bulge that would be your knee is over to the side. So before we get to
Like, yeah, Dorky's like,
Brady,
please stop. Please stop.
before we get to
please
Brady, I just want to make a note that Thranduin is 100% fine.
Wow.
Oh,
He looks.
yeah.
He's
He
sitting
gets hit
there.
by a
He's
rock.
sitting there like, oh man, I think
He's
I like
fine.
pulled a muscle. Oh.
And I'm about to be near death, probably. Congrats, Sanduin.
Feels okay.
Yeah. Rub it in, Thranny.
Kind of scratching
Is
at
that
my
what
new
happens when you
tattoo.
level
Just a little
up?
bit.
I like-
So
I go to flip him off with my non-dominant hand, and they go, ah.
That looks like it hurts. Do you want me to like bind it? For
Brady.
you, or like try to?
Yeah.
you have a shattered pelvis.
Oh. Death by Snoozing.
Shattered.
So you pull out your harmonica or whichever instrument you're choosing here,
Yeah.
and you just start shrilling into this thing, and everyone kind of stops and looks at you. Even the barbarian, through the pain of his knee, looks over, and everyone sees the like bent, disfigured hips kind of back into place, and she's kind of screaming into this harmonica, and then she takes a deep breath. The cessation of pain is you can taste the relief.
I like rummage in my bag and pull out my horn, just blow on it really hard.
Okay. Okay. Hang on.
Oh, not a good idea. Not a good
You
idea.
blow into your horn, and it is loud.
Yeah. I'm just hoping it would heal me. I don't know.
Oh, who are you?
Who are you? Is what is posed.
Oh, my name is Crichton. Nice to meet you.
Right,
Make this
Crichton.
work.
No, right, Crichton. Well, there's a whole bunch of people living on this island with magic that we don't know jack about, and you just alerted them to where we are.
I don't know your magic either, but I trust you.
I don't have magic. I got these. These are my magic.
I watch you disappear.
Oh, I guess I do have magic. I didn't think about that.
Oh,
The only magic I can do.
Brady,
It's a party
are you
trick.
going
Just what I
to
do.
cast any more spells to heal anyone else, or are you going to kind of sit on that?
I really need some rhinoplasty right now.
Can I attempt to reset Otto's knee?
Yes, make a medicine or a survival check.
Also have the survival skill proficient in that. Can I give her advantage on that or no?
Yeah, you kind of give her vague, you kind of through gritted teeth kind of give instructions that she's familiar with as well. And now you can roll at advantage, Caitlin.
All right. Well, one of them was a natural 1.
That would have made it so much worse.
5 in the dice, Jay.
The other one is a 12.
Okay. He kind of roars in pain as you kind of slick it back into place.
Excellent.
Hurts a lot, needless to say.
Not quite as elegant as magic, but it works.
You're welcome. Right. Were there any other survivors? What ship were you on?
Oh, I was on Man of War. All military dead.
It's actually about noon. Anyone who is magical, go ahead and make an Arcana check.
I got 14.
I got 20.
Okay. What else we got?
I got a 9.
Okay.
One of the better
14.
rolls I've had this
14?
session.
You got an 8.
As 18.
Okay. So, Thranduin and Creighton.
Crichton.
Not only is the grass magic, but so are the white birch trees that ring this grassy sanctuary.
We get a sense of like what type of magic, like
I guess you do. You crit. The white birch trees seem to create some kind of barrier. You're not sure what. And the sweet onion grass that is at your feet seems to have some kind of restorative property.
Does anybody else get the sense that we are being watched?
the magic of the grass. Is that like an innate thing, or does it have to be like picked and harvested and like used? In
There
some
probably
way,
will be a
or-
procedure for best results.
Are we?
Do I
being
do I notice any of that with my 8?
Are
Cool.
we being watched?
Are you?
Are we voice in my head?
Roll a perception
all
check.
Being lord of this universe.
This is the only way I know how to express
Oh my god,
feeling magic.
You did not.
Did you just
Dude,
get an outline?
seriously?
Vax.
How dare you? Shake him around. Shake him around. Show him who's boss.
Can I look around as well?
Yeah, make a perception
Can
check. Y'all, yeah,
You know, I have to blame myself. It's because I mentioned the dinner and they heard it before we started rolling, and that's my fault.
22.
22. Okay.
So betrayed.
You are able to ascertain that you are not being to your abilities, you're able to ascertain that you are not being watched. You do note the volcano to your south, a large mountain range before you, and to the direct, gosh, where are you? To the direct, I gotta put the island in my head for a second here. To the direct north of you. So sorry, volcano to the west, mountain range, heavy forest, and to the direct north of you is a skyscraper shaped, not a skyscraper, but a long rectangular mountain that looks like it's been carved.
Can we assume that as we've been going, I've been creating my map, or do I start doing that now?
This is when you would start doing that, yes.
Okay, I start doing that.
Okay, so you
as I'm working, I kind of mumble, I feel like right now we're safe.
Okay.
I'll also relate to the party the type of magic from the birch trees and the onion grass.
Okay. Otto, you are now aware that there is restorative properties in the grass, and there is some kind of barrier magic at play with the white birch trees that are in a line along the perimeter of this grassy sanctuary.
Can I from where we're at? Is there any do I notice between us and that barrier? Is there any kind of like movement, wildlife, any kind of like?
It is roughly 50 yards of grass, and you see the river going along it. And as everyone's panic kind of comes down, Brittany starts a rough draft of her map, marking the volcano, the probable distance of the strange skyscraper-shaped mountain. Otto kind of looks down at the grass, looks about, and he kind of does a little double take, and he sees a knapsack. Sorry, a small hempen bag and a bedroll, and a fishing pole next to the river on the side of the cliff. And of course, you have all the bodies and the flotsam and the carnage in the ocean.
Oh yeah, those two.
You don't hear any more screaming, though.
Yeah, probably not. Well, let me grab that. First off, let me get that burlap sack out of the eye of Thranny and Brittany. Otherwise, they might use it for something. I just want to make sure that I grab as much of these items as possible, and I let everyone know, hey, we got a bedroll here, but is it just one?
Just the one, implying
Cool.
someone's been here before.
All right, so looks like someone's been here, but can I tell by like, is anything like, is it wet because it's just been recently dropped, or is it like, is it dusty? Has this been here for a while?
There is grass kind of poking through, or sorry, kind of accustomed to it being there. It is not disturbed recently. So this knapsack and this bedroll and this fishing pole have been here for at least a couple of days.
Cool. So I found this. I found this bag. Is there anything else in the bag besides the knapsack, or is it just the?
You may look into the knapsack.
Cool.
Roll a D100. Caitlin, what's up?
D100.
So looking at this, does it look like something that would have been made within the realms of the Endeavor, or does it look foreign?
No, this looks pretty crude, pretty
They look
rudimentary.
very foreign.
Yeah, this is like
Stunning.
woven and burlap, kind of coarse. You find some treated jerky meat, a small bare stomach hardened water bottle, some various bones that are carved. They look kind of religious or tribal in nature. Inside the bottle of water that is a bare stomach, and it smells kind of sweet. You note in this moment that the water you have access to in this river is still salt water. And you, aside from the small pouch that you have on you, you guys have no fresh water. You also find 7 small blue metal chips. It is
Chips?
chips, like kind of like coins, but rudimentary coins.
Okay.
And they are a blue metal.
Can I tell, like, what kind, like, besides it just being sweet, can I, like, tell if there's any kind of fermentation or anything with this?
You can tell that there is not.
No, it's used.
Stay
to
away!
smoke it.
Should we be taking?
You won't like it.
Oh, actually, I'll go ahead and say
Something.
that, Dayton, you do still have just a little flask of the good stuff, like strapped to your thigh. Like you got like a hidden little,
Yeah.
the last little bits of like 3 mouthfuls worth,
You can
That's
take this
it?
off my cold dead corpse.
and it could be used for other things. It is alcohol, strong
It's
alcohol,
alcohol.
basically moonshine.
Yeah.
Creighton,
They-
were you saying something? I'm sorry.
Do we want to be taking this? This is obviously someone else's.
Yeah,
It could be
that has-
coming back.
I think they've been here. I
after
think
2
they've been
days.
gone for a while. It looks like this hasn't been visited in a bit.
Then begs the question: why did they leave, and where did they go?
Who said they left on their own accord?
Yeah, they're
All good questions.
You know,
there's
are there any signs of a struggle?
There are not.
Yeah. Okay.
Doesn't mean they didn't. Still doesn't mean that they went willingly.
So this is a couple of days old, implying this was before the fleet arrived.
Yeah.
It's probably belongs to a native, someone who lives on this island.
Which means there might be a village nearby.
Which we should do our best to avoid.
Yeah, they didn't seem very fond of us.
No, I mean we do you blame them? We came in and immediately started attacking them.
This is true.
That's not what I
The
signed
Endeavor's
up for.
plan, generally, the usual run-of-the-mill that they do is when they go to establish a trade triangle, they capture the natives, put them to work, find a resource so that they can begin exporting. The Endeavor is not the good guys. Before night falls, is there anything else you guys want to cover with each other or in this area?
We've got roughly half a day.
Yeah.
I would suggest that
Okay.
we set ourselves up so that we are not necessarily camping out in the middle of the night. Maybe find some kind of shelter or build some kind of shelter.
Okay.
I have the ability to provide, or if it's around, I have the ability to identify certain things.
As an
berries
outlander,
and
You're looking
game
at
and things
various
like that.
pine trees about yourself outside the sanctuary, and a lot of them would do well. For being thick and pine and needled, you can easily make yourself a thatch roofing.
Right. So I would suggest we spend time doing that, and then maybe the next morning we kind of go over what we have and go from there.
Okay.
I'm gonna offer to take up a watch. I don't need to sleep that much. If you just let me meditate for a few hours, I'll be fine.
Okay.
I will take watch.
Great. I laid close
Right.
to Dayton, grab that sleeping bag,
Yep.
and just snuggle on into that thing.
You go to sleep. You promptly curl into another man's bedroll and go to sleep. Brady, are you doing anything in particular?
Yeah, does Crichton need help, or is he have
Yes,
something
you
that
may
makes
assist
him really
him
good?
as he
Oh,
kind
absolutely.
of as he
We
kind
need
of
a
goes up
fire
to various
pit,
trees.
We need to have all this stuff. I have a lot of things I got to dry out.
Brady, you're able to find various stones to help him make a fire ring circle.
As I'm doing this, I look at Thranduin and I'm just kind of giving him a look like, how are you not? There has to be some wound. And finally, I just say, so, you're okay. Completely.
I am okay.
How?
You were not sworn to any kind of secrecy, by the way. This is up to you.
Okay. Okay. Strange magics.
Friend or foe kind of magic.
Kind of like show my new ink. Seemingly friendly for now. Maybe?
You got a tattoo?
Brady, what do you respond with?
Were there any... Oh gosh, what's the word? No! I can't remember it. I'm going a different direction. I look at him and I'm just a little suspicious, and Brady basically says, and you got this for free, no strings attached.
Oh no, of course not. Don't be ridiculous. Nothing is free. Whoever did this is trapped here, and he wants my help to be freed. Apparently, whatever's here on the island has him held hostage here.
You were contacted by a spirit?
You guys kind of look over, and the barbarian has like a tree trunk, God of War style, on one shoulder, like, you have been contacted by a spirit.
It was spirit?
Like a spirit. It was more like a vision manifesting somehow.
That sounds like spirit to me.
In your experience with spirits, this does sound like a... Sorry, in the barbarian's experience with spirits, this does sound spiritual. This does sound like a powerful magical entity reached out and touched him.
I will help him, and I will help you.
Thank you.
Pat on shoulder.
I'm gonna look around at everyone else and go, why you?
We do not question the spirits.
We do not question the spirits.
Whatever.
It's amazing.
And I've been kind of patrolling around our little area, just making sure no one's.
You've been able to ascertain that no one is anywhere near.
I'm still very worried.
You do find some strange poop, though.
Yeah, I believe
That's
it.
not comforting.
Yeah. Is it big?
That'd be good fertilizer.
Is it big?
It's everywhere.
Is it smoke monster big?
Dang it, Otto.
Medium-sized creature.
Hey guys,
Polar
there's
bear size?
a lot of feces.
Scat.
We don't know what kind of animals and creatures are native to this island. Right, there wasn't any mention of like native creatures or animals on the manifest. Right?
Foreign animals and creatures, actually. You've never seen these plants before, and you've never seen these critters before.
Yeah, the manifest didn't describe them or anything, though.
It did not. Not before.
Okay.
Not that you saw before you gave it back.
I would have spent like days poring over that and
I know.
making sure I.
And that was all the information you ascertained from it. There was more, but you did give it back.
I'm gonna beat myself over. It's fine. Okay. Okay. So
I was
there's.
under the impression that you'd finished it before handing it back.
Yeah, I also was. I
Yeah.
would have given
You
it back
did
if I
not
didn't
ask.
finish it. But I said I finished translating this for you, under the assumption that I wouldn't have given it back if I wasn't done with it.
Okay, I'll figure
We
that
can
out
talk
later.
about this after. I'm
Yeah, I'll
not
figure
gonna-
that out. I'll figure that out later.
Just keep an eye out. We don't know what kind of animals and creatures.
I
The
can
one-
promise you there's some big creatures, because when we were first arriving, we could see them from way back there.
I don't like that. I really don't
They were
like that.
flying too. That's unsettling.
If you all want to rest, I can stay up for a few hours.
Okay. The barbarian manages to. Well, go ahead and make a nature check, Mr. Barbarian, or a survival check.
Which
Can
one?
I assist?
Could we
since
help?
I was helping.
Okay, yeah, at advantage.
At advantage, which one?
As he kind of directs around the sleeping. We're gonna go ahead and make it a nature check.
I'm gonna roll Otto over like you're rolling a carpet so that he's out of the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm comfortable in the bag.
Yeah.
You guys could do anything to me right now.
What'd you get?
An 18.
18. You make a hut big enough for everybody.
Just roll me into a hut.
And unfortunately, nobody gets any rest tonight because as the sun goes down, even Otto is awoken by a sound. Many, many sounds.
Oh boy.
And as that kind of goes off, it is answered by other howling, laughing sounds. And that is where we're going to leave off for the night.